What's up guys, my name is Jazz and I'm from the account Recipes for Health over on Instagram, where I create tons of simple, mostly plant-based recipes. I am a nutritional therapist and I am a private chef for professional athletes. I absolutely love everything there is about nourishing the body with food. Today's video is actually really special and really exciting, and I'll tell you why. It is a sugar-free dessert recipe. If you follow me over on Instagram, then you know my friend Phoebe and I have created this really cool challenge. It's called the Sugar-Free 7, and what it means is that we just become more aware of the sugar that we intake in 7 days. So the next challenge is starting Monday the 11th. When this video goes live, the challenge will already be live. All of the documents, everything that you need to get started, it's all completely free and it's all up on my website. I will link it below in case you're interested and want to jump on the bandwagon with us. So I want to start by saying that there's nothing wrong with eating sugar. However, a lot of us have skin issues, we might have trouble digesting foods, we might be bloated, we might not be able to sleep at night, we might have mood swings, lower energy levels. All of these issues might be related to the overconsumption of sugar. So this challenge is actually just meant to meet you where you are in your life and in your journey. We've created this document for you, and this document takes you through 3 tiers of eliminated added sugars. The first tier might be if you're someone who eats cane sugar and you have your coffee creamer that has that cane sugar in it, do that every day and you love it. Maybe you can just eliminate that cane sugar, but instead add a more natural sugar like a stevia or a maple syrup or a honey. The next tier is about eliminating all added sugars. So if you're someone like me who actually goes for the more natural sugars like honey, maple syrup, or stevia, then what you could do on this challenge is you could eliminate all of those added sugars, but then just stick to your real fruits and dried fruits. That's what I always do when I've done this sugar-free challenge. This will be the 3rd time doing it in about a year and a half, which is kind of fun to reset your body every now and then, eliminate those sugars, and then come back to really tasting the sweetness of the fruits and the vegetables. And if you're someone like my friend Phoebe, she has so much self-control and she typically doesn't really eat any added sugar. So for this challenge, she has always just gone cold turkey and then eliminated all fruits from her diet. It's just meant to meet you where you are in your journey. Figure out which one's best for you. Now there's a little golden nugget that's super important for this sugar-free challenge, and that is the journal. It's the 7-day journal where you just write everything that you're going through in those 7 days. You track things like your skin health, sleep, energy, your mood. Now that's where the really cool information comes in. After these 7 days, we look back on that journal and figure out what was maybe causing our mood swings, what was maybe causing our skin breakouts, and you see if sugar has anything to do with it. This doesn't mean that you need to eliminate all sugars forever. This is not about demonizing sugar at all. It's simply about gaining awareness of what we eat and what we put into our bodies and what might be affecting us. Every time I've done this, I've come out of the sugar-free challenge and I felt like fruit is so much sweeter, and then I won't have to add as much added sugar like coconut sugar and maple syrup into my oatmeal that I usually do every morning. I might still add some, but maybe it's not as much. So don't forget to click on that link below, bookmark it, save it for a time when you're ready to do this challenge. And as always, if you are doing it, reach out to me. We can all build this cool support system around it. To go along with the theme of this sugar-free 7 challenge, I am bringing to you guys a recipe that is so good it'll knock your socks off. And that is salted peanut butter banana chocolate chip cookies. Without further ado, let's get to the recipe. Here's everything that we need for these cookies. There's only 8 ingredients. They're vegan, they're gluten-free, they're soy-free, and again, contain no added sugar. We'll start with 2 really ripe bananas. I typically do one of 2 things with these ripe bananas. I either take the peel off and freeze them, or I bake with them, and this recipe I've been obsessed with. It's so easy. So you want 2 really ripe bananas. This actually adds the sweetness to it, so if you don't have super ripe bananas, I would wait until they're very ripe. And then we'll go in with 1/3 cup of plant-based milk. Again, if you want to make sure these are really sugar-free, just check out the label on your plant-based milk and opt for the plain. Then we'll go in with 3 tablespoons of creamy peanut butter. If you're someone who's allergic to peanut butter, don't fret. You can also use any other nut butter that you have on hand. Almond butter, sunflower seed butter, cashew butter, it all works. And then you'll add about half of a teaspoon of vanilla. I usually just take a fork to mix everything pretty well. It takes probably about 60 seconds or so. It's very simple because the banana is actually so easy to mash. Now you'll set those wet ingredients aside and we'll work on our dry ingredients. Let's start with 1 cup of almond flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half of a teaspoon of salt. Keep that salt handy for a little bit later in the recipe. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. This is totally optional, but I just love cinnamon. Now we'll just combine these ingredients again just so that they mix up, get rid of any clumps. We're gonna get ready to add these dry ingredients into the wet. I like to combine them in small batches, so as you see, I add a little bit and then I mix to combine. And then I'll go back to those dry ingredients and I'll keep adding them little by little until the batter is formed. Lastly, we will add our chocolate chips. I add about 1/3 cup, but if you didn't want to use chocolate chips, you could use any nut or seed on hand. I bet these would be delicious with pecans or walnuts. Now we'll line a large baking sheet with parchment paper and scoop your batter onto this parchment paper. I didn't have an ice cream scooper. I feel like that would be a lot easier, but I just used 2 spoons. Scoop the batter until you have 20 cookies. Now we will add a pinch of pink Himalayan salt. We'll just sprinkle that on top of the cookies before they go in the oven. I would highly recommend not using my method as it was really inaccurate and I had a bunch of salt on just 1 cookie. So next time I'll definitely just pinch it with my fingers. These babies go in the oven at 350 degrees for about 18 to 22 minutes. It just kind of depends on your oven. I always like to set my timer at 18 minutes and at that point I would just take a look at them and see if they need a few more minutes. While we wait, we dance. They are out of the oven. We will let them cool for about 15 to 20 minutes just to make sure they set, and then you can dig into them. They are soft, they are chewy. I love that it only uses pantry ingredients. So if you make a large batch of these, just throw them in the freezer and they will be good to enjoy whenever you're ready. My personal favorite way of topping these is just a little bit of peanut butter on top or even in a peanut butter sandwich. It is so good. Highly recommend this recipe. I really hope you guys liked this recipe. If you did, it would mean the world to me if you guys could like and subscribe to my channel so I can keep producing videos like this every week for you guys. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Bye!